Good evening and welcome to the Minions of the Zoo. I am your host, the Harry Channel, and with me tonight are Minions Prospero,
Hello.
SkepTock,
Hi, everybody.
and hopefully we're going to be joined by Sora Luna and some more people in a little bit. In theory, there's supposed to be more people here, but it's a Saturday evening. Everybody's probably in a food stun. Undo that. Just take the whole belt off. Don't even, just loosen it. Just take the whole thing off. Stretchy pants.
Get a bathrobe.
Whole deal.
Go,
Yeah,
go,
really.
go to the bathrobe.
That
Yeah.
sounds perfect to me.
Forget the sweatpants. Just go.
Merry Christmas. I'm stripping night.
Well, let's see. Merry Christmas, Toss. Merry Christmas, Cost. Merry Christmas, Elowen. Glad to see that there's some people here tonight. This is the part of the show where I ask you how things went, since this is Christmas edition. Just say something. Say something that you want to talk about.
Christmas went fine.
Went fine.
The sun was shining. It was ridiculously warm. 73 was our high today, which is just our normal was 49. So for all the little kids that got toys that involved the outdoors, and for all those parents that needed to exhaust those younger children, today was a perfect day. It was fine as far as we went. How was your day, Harry?
Oh, I had to work today. I have been working most of today. It's crazy. Because in not too long a time, a bunch of people are going to come back to work and wonder why a bunch of stuff wasn't magically fixed over break. So I'll get my break later. It'll be fine.
I hope so.
Hey, Johnny Blaze is here for Sora Luna, but Sora is at dinner with her mom right now. And so it's really up to her mom whether she gets here or not. We'll see how that goes. Oh, so I didn't want to put together... Oh, wait, I forgot Skep. Hi, Skep.
I'm a very, very forgettable man. It's been a quiet day. At 3 o'clock, my wife departed with the little puppy I've been keeping for the last month, and she took all the grandkids who really I'm engaged with much. The younger ones, and they all went off to Mesa, Arizona, leaving me here with the house. So I spent the day cleaning the house and tweeting a little bit here and there, and just kind of being a domestic guy. Did some laundry. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Cree was cleaning a path in the garage so we can get the new washer dryer sometime next week. And I was like, this is Christmas as an adult. It's the reality of the thing.
Right.
You've got a weekend that, there's some stuff you're up against the wall that you have to get done. You just get it done. Gone are the days of footy pajamas and, ooh, what did Santa bring me?
Yeah, those days are pretty much gone. But, I mean, the thing is, as far as, like, imaginary girlfriend goes, if I see something that I want her to have, I just buy it.
Yeah.
I don't wait. I don't wait for birthdays or Christmas or something. I just, buy it.
That's Brenda's and my philosophy, too. When we need something, we just get what we need. Or if we want something, we talk it over but we buy it when we want it. We're not going to wait for something as artificial as Christmas to come up. And the only thing good about Christmas is sometimes you get a good bargain on things because we're trying to move a lot of merchandise and it's very competitive.
Yeah, like we didn't expect to have to buy a washer dryer, but it turned out our washer tub had a crack in it, and so that meant it was more cost efficient to buy a new one than to pay almost the same as a new one to replace the washer tub. So it was like, we'll slap a bow on that little puppy when it shows up and smile at each other. Merry Christmas.
Well, at least you've got something to smile about. I have my daily rage. or my
Oh.
weekly raid, which is here. Okay, here's the latest stupidity.
Guess
No.
with ease. We're using
Yes.
frozen ravioli instead of pasta sheets to make this an easy and super cheesy comfort meal. We'll make a spinach.
No,
that is not
no.
lasagna.
That's
No,
not lasagna. I'm Italian, and it's officially not lasagna.
It's the same ingredients. Now you might think, oh, this will save having to mix the spinach up.
Filling with a package of frozen spinach, already thawed and patted dry.
She's doing the spinach anyway. In what freaking universe does it save time does it save money or time to put a row of frozen ravioli
Well,
in what's
also
supposed to be a lasagna?
She didn't have to cook. She didn't have to cook the lasagna noodles and
You don't
wash
have to
that
cook
pot.
the lasagna noodles. You can buy lasagna noodles that don't do that. I don't cook them all the time. I just put enough sauce in that they cook just fine. You don't have to cook. You don't have to pre-cook lasagna.
Okay, sorry. I used to have to do it the long way, and it is time consuming. But
This is
2
dumb.
cups ricotta cheese, a half cup shredded Parmesan, 1 egg, a quarter teaspoon black pepper and garlic powder, and a half teaspoon salt. Spread
Garlic
this evenly
powder.
over the ravioli.
You're
Not
doing
Top
nearly
this
enough
layer with
garlic.
mozzarella cheese.
Just
No.
use lasagna noodles, you bitch.
yeah,
You don't need
Yeah.
to do this.
and chop
she's
some
just-
fresh
Wait.
garlic for fuck's sake.
She's
One-
making up
one-
shit because she needs
one o-
content.
One other thing is that ravioli has a particular taste to it. And if you like ravioli, it's quite good, but it's a different taste from the lasagna that I've eaten my whole life. And I've eaten many different kinds of lasagna. I've got the figure to prove it.
Yeah,
And
You can't use ravioli. This is the dumbest idea I've ever heard
it's pretty
one of-
freaking dumb.
today.
But they're
Well,
just
anyway.
changing. They're just changing
Well,
the
one of
shapes of
them.
things
Yeah.
around because because basically it's a beautiful
Not one.
segue into this. Now I know that Prospero is a Taco Bell apologist, so this should be interesting. But
I'm a fast food apologist. If people like it, let them like it.
no,
you
I
know.
know. It's like Taco Bell is about to bring back one of its most popular items.
Oh, is this that pizza?
The
Yeah.
taco pizza. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're bringing back this.
No.
That's never been that good anyway. They yeeted the tostada recently, and their tostada was actually halfway decent.
Yeah.
Because it was like an actual tostada. It was a corn tortilla, a crispy corn tortilla with beans and the accoutrement of lettuce, tomato, and cheese. Like an actual honest to God tostada would be. And this is like
It's not pizza. That's for one thing.
Well, no, this is actually what in Tex-Mex cooking is called a what do they call it? A Mexican pancake.
Yeah.
And but what you do is you do what they've done here. You make a stack of them, about 3.
Uh-huh.
And
It's like a taco stack.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a
ex-
dyslexic
it's-
quesadilla. Like,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's upside down.
And it's got all
Okay.
that weird meat in it, which is like, okay.
Yeah, mystery meat from Taco Bell. Yay.
Well, coyotes have to go somewhere.
Oh man.
So here's the thing about Taco Bell. This is just my main problem. Is I'm surrounded by so much good, authentic, and sort of new style Mexican that there's no way I would go Taco Bell to get Mexican. Now I know people who like Taco Bell, and they like it because it's kind of bland and comforting and always the same no matter where you go. I understand that. I get it. But it's not Mexican food.
No.
Harry, do you know who loves Taco Bell in Texas?
Yeah. Who?
Older Mexican people.
Oh, cool.
They go there all the time. They're a huge customer base in Texas for Taco Bell.
Yeah, I knew a Texan who loved Taco Bell, and it was the strangest thing ever.
Yeah, because we have Tex-Mex in Texas.
Yes.
That's where the Tex comes from.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's pretty good.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
gosh.
we have real Mexican restaurants around here. Taco Bell is a different thing. It's a totally different thing, and it's I get
Mexican.
Yeah, I know. I just wish people wouldn't call it Mexican. Just call it Taco Bell.
Right.
That's what it is.
Vaguely Mexican fast food.
Yeah, it did as a chain. Jack in the Box and Taco Bell kind of introduced some boomer college kids to Mexican food because there weren't as many Mexican immigrants around when I was in college. So, where did you get a taco? Well, you got it from one of these chains, and they were hideous. I mean, but college students eat a lot of hideous things. I mean, because you're just looking for fuel at 2:00 in the morning.
Sherm pointing out a brutal truth about the food at Taco Bell. It does have that amazing laxative.
Yes, get your runs at the border.
Yeah, that's something like that.
Yeah, that was. I mean, when they were like doing that promotion, make a run for the border. It was like, dudes, you just set that one up.
There used to be this Mexican buffet place in Mountain View, California, right by the Google campus. It's called La Castagna. And La Castagna was not good, but you could go in there for about $2.50, get a burrito the size of a small child. Now, it's like I get if you're into like value eating, like here's my food for the day, my food budget is $2.50. Okay, respect.
Yes,
respect that. But if your only reason for going to a Mexican place is because the burrito is the size of a child, it's cheap, that's not a good reason to go. Especially when you could just go to Taqueria La Bamba, 3 doors down and get something that actually has flavor. Some Salvadoran food or something. So yeah, I'm fancy and I'm a pain in the ass, and I don't expect people to agree with me. But if your dream coming true is Taco Bell Mexican pizza, you need to reassess.
There's a place called Castagna restaurant in Portland, Oregon that advertises progressive fine dining.
Oh God.
And oh my God. I have to share my screen. I must share I've got a picture of one of their entrees. I have to share this. Okay, quick. All right. Focus.
It's not so much she as shay.
Yeah, there you go.
You're gonna enjoy this, I think. Progressive fine. Right there.
By 15.
This is the entree.
Oh my God, that's like that Nouvelle nonsense.
Progressive fine dining.
Hey, Skep, I think this empty plate has some food stuck on it from the last diner.
Yeah, I know.
Some guy left part of his salad. Oh, awful.
That is nasty. And they're charging a fortune for it.
Oh yeah, it looks like it's pretty upscale. Yeah,
and
progressive
the
fine
the more
dining.
It costs. Yeah, well, that is not La Castagna. Let's see. So here's another fish that I hate. Let's see. That's right. It's Skep. Oh, okay. So this thing is called the barrel eye, and it looks like this.
It looks like an eyeball.
It's looking at you.
It has a translucent head that has bioluminescent things, and it's got these weird barrel-shaped eyes in it. This thing lives like way down in the dark, cold, deep part of the ocean. So look at this.
They're pretty good eating.
This thing is rare enough. I doubt you've eaten one of these.
Ew.
Have it with a side of eagle.
Yeah. Look at him. Look at
him. Everybody.
And then we can look at his stupid face here.
How much are we paying in taxpayer money to do something useless with the barrel eye fish?
Yeah, this guy. Look at that.
Yeah. Ew.
Now, if you could swim that deep and you saw this nightmare fuel coming at you, what would you do? I would kill it.
Kill it, yes.
Yeah.
It was there to suck my soul out of my body.
Now, the only thing I'll say good about this stupid fish is at least it stays down deep usually. So it doesn't just show up on the beach like a football fish that looks like it wants to steal your soul. It stays out of the way where you don't have to worry about it so much. But
You know, there's
fuck
so
this
much
fish.
good fish out there. So much good fish out there. You know, red snapper, lingcod, great stuff. You can catch mackerel off the coast of yeah, exactly. But you know, what? I guess somebody thinks it's important enough to direct money at this thing.
Well, they were down there anyway. This is just an incidental thing that they found. This was
Okay.
actually the Monterey Bay Aquarium and I think the Scripps Oceanographic Institute. And they've seen this thing a total of 9 times in all of their poking around.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the ivory-billed woodpecker kind of deal.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. So, whoa.
You
don't do
gross.
that.
No, that's
It was like it was swimming toward me.
Yeah, well, fuck this fish. And we've got 3 fish that we hate now. Football fish, sunfish, barrel eye fish. We're going to find 3 more fish just to finish it off. It's done.
those lightning
All
bolts
right.
need 3 more fish.
Let's see. Now, I don't believe this for a second. This woman, stop doing that. So
What?
she is claiming that her friend picked out this is in Germany, that her friend picked out bridesmaids dresses, but she looked so good in her bridesmaid's dress that her friend disinvited her from the wedding. I don't believe this for a second because
This
Prospero,
never
tell me,
happened.
you have been to a lot of weddings, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay, why is this?
I say with all
where
the
is damn
enthusiasm
picture
of
this
somebody who
woman?
had a couple really horrible bridesmaids dresses that had to live in her closet till she gave them away.
Okay, so here she is wearing the bridesmaid's dress. Have you ever seen a bridesmaid's dress that looks that good?
No.
No.
No. And if you're really that insecure about somebody being better looking than you at the wedding, you invite her.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, it would
The
be like
21-year-old model in Berlin. Would you?
no. I wouldn't even be friends with her. She'd make me just feel terrible about myself every time I saw her. That's not true, but because whatever. But that dress is no. And whatever's playing in that video, it's just like, please tell that chubby girl not to dress up like a giant meringue.
Make her go away. Oh, Yahoo Sports. Just go away. All right. Let's move on. Because we all agree that this is just a thing that never happened. It's just publicity, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, well, here's a thing that should have never happened. It'll eventually load. Tasty TV, Japanese
God.
professor creates flavorful screen.
This is so wrong.
Just in time for COVID.
Yeah, no kidding.
A demonstrator licks the screen of Taste the TV.
Ew.
TV, a prototype lickable TV screen that can imitate the flavors of various foods during its demonstration at the University of Tokyo, Japan, December 22nd, 2021.
They just need to stick to tentacle porn. This is disgusting.
Well, when I was a kid, they used to have these scratch and sniff Christmas books.
Yes.
Those were cool because you could like scrape the little thing of hot chocolate and it would smell like hot chocolate. And then there was the pine tree part and then the peppermint thing.
Scratch and sniff, man.
Yeah, scratch and sniff. It was like,
you didn't work in a
super
bookstore.
high-tech.
They weren't that cool. Trust me.
But they didn't have like library books you could check out that you had to lick to see what they tasted.
Oh God, Jesus, no.
Man, do you know how dirty books are?
Do
you know how many?
dirty is money? Yeah.
Well, it's just like money. It's the same microphone mix.
Gross. Some things you just don't want to know about. And I mean, why make something this obvious? I'm not a super germaphobe, but I'm not licking a TV screen.
You know
Well-
what this would be good for would be for like poor people who don't have enough money to buy actual food. They could see what they were missing by licking a screen. At
Yeah,
least they could have the flavor, if not any of the nutrition.
That would be absolutely great. Nothing like torturing poor people.
Well, if we
Yeah,
look at
it's
this
just-
ridiculous article, it says the goal is to make it possible for people to have the experience of something like eating at a restaurant on the other side of the world, even while staying at home. Now,
No.
there's no way this thing is going to have necessary nuance to
No, and it's not going to have
replicate-
texture, and it's just not going to have the same. It's not going to have the proper flavor.
No.
You're not going to have
No.
texture. There won't be scent to go along with it. I mean, come on.
We know they're just going to use it for porn or something else disgusting.
Absolutely,
This
it's
is
coming-
going to
it's
be just awful.
Yep.
And so this guy works with a team of about 30 students that has produced a variety of flavor-related devices, including a fork that makes food taste richer. He said he built the TTTV prototype himself over the past year and that a commercial version would cost about $875 to make. Potential applications include distance learning for sommeliers and cooks and tasting games and quizzes, he said. I think this stands a chance of working. There's a higher probability that this is going to work out in the next 20 years than that what I said, my doubt about that woman and the dress. I don't believe that this is going to work.
Mm-mm. I mean, I cannot. The idea that a sommelier could be trained by licking a screen is just really, really weird.
If you
to
know
me.
anything about what sommeliers go through to get that master certificate, oh my God.
What about the
There's
nose?
no way.
Yeah, what about the nose of the wine? I mean, you're not going to have that experience. You're just tasting it, or a reasonable facsimile thereof.
Well, how about how the nose changes?
Yes.
With the wine bottles. That's the stuff that those guys just
Yep.
agonize over and memorize and memorize and memorize.
Yeah, and then the finish.
Mhm.
I mean, where's your finish going to be? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, if you only
It's just
have
too
a
complex
fixed
to
number
taste.
of taste buds, right? So we have 5 tastes that we've identified. There's probably more that we're not quite sure of, but we've got
And also,
Yeah.
we've
and
got
also
the 4
our
major
receptors
taste
are
buds.
specific to parts of our tongue. So what are you going to do? Roll your tongue across
Well,
the screen?
Exactly, but that doesn't capture the impact of scent. Scent is
No.
much more complicated than taste. Oh, we have a wild sanguine has appeared. Hello,
Oh
sanguine.
no, and Merry
buddy.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Are you just here to say howdy, or are you going to join us for the
I'll
next 2
stick
hours?
around.
All right. We were just talking about a TV device that you can lick to get tastes.
Okay.
It's a lickable TV that some Japanese professor came up with. And here's a picture of a young woman demonstrating how the device is operated.
Why does it look like she's licking a toilet?
Yeah.
That's an excellent question.
It's fair.
Yeah.
I just
And
looked
I'm
my
thinking this is not going to
doesn't
work
taste good.
particularly well. They're talking about training sommeliers with this thing, distance training sommeliers, and I think this is not going to happen.
Yeah,
You know,
I
if you
don't-
had a gold
Tobacco,
fork, it would
tobacco
make your
graders.
steak taste like Salt Bay made it.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this, and like I said, it looks like she's licking the base of a toilet, which is disturbing in and of itself. Also, the fact that this would have to be a personal use computer or screen that you have, because you don't want to be the 4th person to get onto the lickable TV.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the last user of the TV for the day before they come in and do the COVID wipe down. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
So what if the TV has like a little paper thing around it that says sanitized for your protection? Is it okay?
Nah, I don't like the fact that that makes it even more like a toilet then.
You think
Yeah.
about what's going to be on that thing, Sanguine. It's going to be a bunch of gram-positive Arabs, going to be every kind of staph you can think of.
Yep.
You're going to have Streptococcus pneumoniae. You're going to have everything that's not anaerobic is going to be there.
It's going to
Cheese.
taste like a petri dish.
Well, speaking of bad taste, this next thing, I don't care about the story. I only like the headline. That's the only reason into the show for tonight. Trans woman jailed after using cocaine, having sex with dog. Your record is appalling.
But the cocaine was great.
So,
Oh my God.
so this person, dare I say, not passing.
She's always a woman.
A trans woman was jailed for 20 months after using cocaine and engaging in sex with an Alsatian dog. GB Britain's news channel reported Thursday. 60-year-old Claire Goodyear was described by a probation officer with Chester Crown Court, England, as manipulative and also deceitful, according to the outlet.
Yeah. They censored out crazy as a shithouse rat.
Yeah, you can just tell due to that completely fucking dead, waxy stare that the dude has. And there is one thing that I heard about this, which is rather pleasant in the fact that it isn't as insane as it could have been, because this person is not going to be housed in the female prison, thankfully.
Oh, he's a pedo, or she is a pedo
Yes.
too. Excellent.
Yeah. No,
That's
this person
just perfect.
is scored the full hat trick.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, pretty much anything that you aren't supposed to fuck, they really want to.
Just put him in Gen Pop at San Quentin and see how that works out.
Well,
Yep,
this is
like
a
I said-
Breitbart thing, and I'm kind of surprised. They seem to be really obsessed with the fact that the dog was an Alsatian. Like, that's a key aspect of the story, because they
Well,
go down and talk about what the AKC says about the breed. Why? That has nothing to. Why? Why though?
That was a major focus of the initial story as well, that it was an Alsatian, and I'm just going, interesting side note, but
Are they trying to start a war with
Treaty.
Germany again? I mean, the British are dog fuckers. I mean, is that going to be the thing?
If it was Germany, it would have just been somebody dressed up as a dog in a latex outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Like I said, thankfully, though, the story isn't as insane as it very well could have been, because the chap is not going to be in the female prison, but it is for the dumbest fucking reason. He's not going to be in the female prison because look at the fucker. He's not going to be in a female prison because he didn't file the paperwork to legally transition yet.
Oh.
Mm.
Well, tough luck.
It's that attention to detail that always gets you. So anyway, moving along.
Good God.
That hurt my head.
Yeah.
NASA hires priests to prepare humans for an alien discovery and contact. So according to this fine article in the dailystarnews.co.uk, which is obviously very, very credible, NASA has hired 24 theologians of various stripes.
Why?
To discuss how they're going to tell the normies about alien life once we discover it.
Why would priests be able to help you there? What would they have to offer?
I feel like this is one of the priests just had insane marketing skills, and when he heard that this was something that they were trying to find someone to hire for, he went, who else are you going to get in touch with that has experience getting in touch with otherworldly powers?
Ah.
Well, if you're talking about doing things with cultures that are new to you that you may not understand, may I suggest anthropologists, particularly older anthropologists who were trained in the discipline about the time I was. They are all about putting together ethnographies, analysis and description documents about different cultures. And,
You know, the Jesuits don't really have a great track record with new culture.
that's absolutely fair.
Yeah, let's ask
about that.
Yeah, let's ask the Inca. Oh wait,
Yeah. Oh, they're gone. They left.
How did that happen? I don't know. I guess some priests killed them because they were alien.
Yeah.
Did you?
That
I mean,
nice Mr.
how many
Pizarro
of you
came
have
through.
seen? How many of you have seen the movie Contact?
I have seen it.
You've seen
Ages
it,
ago,
Prospero?
yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's sort of Carl Sagan's take on what's going to happen. Most people will be fine, and a few people will just kind of lose their shit, party in Winnebagos in the desert, and just get really wigged out about it. But for the most part, I suspect most people would be okay with it. The universe is an awfully big place. It's kind of inconceivable that there isn't anybody else out there. We just have that last little step to go.
I've said before, and I firmly believe this, that the order of operations are going to be, okay, are they attractive? And if so, can we sleep with them?
Mm-hmm.
Followed by, are they too dangerous, or are they extremely dangerous, in which case, how do we kill them? Followed by, do they have cool technology which we can trade with them for? Followed by, do they taste good?
That's the Futurama way of looking at it, yes. There was an episode of Futurama that covered that, where basically the eggs of this alien species essentially tasted like deep-fried shrimp. And so they just started gathering them all up and selling them at seafood restaurants on Earth before they realized what they'd done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then when confronted by the alien about why they're doing it, Fry can't stop eating them, even though he's threatening to destroy the Earth over it.
Nice. Yeah, it just seems like that is a very human way of working through. We just encountered something that we've never encountered before.
Mm-hmm.
Quickly work through those few questions, decide which is the most appropriate one. And I think it would be in that order. The only one that might get changed is, it might be, can we sleep with them, is right after. Do we have to go to war with them?
Well, that's how we decide whether it's, whether we can sleep with them or not really influences the decision of whether we're going to go to war with them.
Which is why I think that the sleep with them is going to be first. But like I said, I can imagine a world where it would be, do we go to war with them? Okay, no, we aren't going to war. Well, can we at least fuck them?
Well, here's the thing. Is it going to be Japan or Germany who gets to ask the question about do they get to fuck them? Because you know that they're going to be clamoring to be first in line.
Japan will have a far wider selection of who they would screw. Germany would just be interested in, can I climb under the glass table?
Well, it would also be do you have any kinks? And please explain. Yeah, it's like life is a cabaret.
What is the consistency of your species' bowel movements?
Oh, God damn it. You did not have to go there.
Well, I just want to know what
the
meeting was
it's
like.
Still Christmas.
What was the meeting like at NASA when they decided that this was like something they needed to do with our money? To pay 24 people who aren't really experts on extraterrestrial life at all.
Well, they do shit like this. It's so contemporaneous to actually putting the Webb telescope in orbit today. So it's there's schizophrenia at NASA, obviously.
Well, I didn't bring the Webb up because it's not really there yet. We're not.
Well, I know it isn't there yet, but I mean, they got a successful launch today. So at least it didn't go boom. And it's promising. This is disturbing, not promising.
Mm-hmm. That is.
And their list of questions are going to be like, do you have a solution to global warming for Earth? Or stupid shit.
What I think is the origin of the schizophrenia, as you put it, behind their actions is you have the actual people that should be NASA employees, and
Yeah.
they're doing actual bits of work and doing interesting things when it comes to science.
Mm.
And then you have all the people that they were forced to hire, and they've just gone, okay, you guys just stand over there, don't fuck up anything. Well, we're going to talk to priests about how to deal with aliens. What?
Well, no, that's fine.
What?
Just don't touch any buttons. Just don't touch any buttons and stay off the computers, and we'll be good.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that it's just the nut jobs that they're forced to hire, because if they don't, then it would be racist or sexist or
Well, this
cretist
does
or
kind
whatever
of
the fuck it is.
this does kind of scream HR project.
Yep.
You know, it's just, we haven't had any sexual harassment complaints today. Let's come up with something to keep ourselves busy. Oh, let's hire a priest to talk to aliens. And why priest? Why would you show that kind of, why wouldn't you ask a Buddhist monk?
Well, they're theologians. It isn't necessarily. It's lots of different things. I'm sure there's a Buddhist in the mix.
I hope there's a Hare Krishna, because aliens deserve to be annoyed at an airport.
Seems like Scientologists should definitely be represented here.
No kidding.
Well, unless
I'm
the
just
aliens
really-
can pay cash, I don't think the Scientologists care.
Would
Fair.
you like to join Sea Org?
Would you like to
just
join Flag?
Really,
Yeah.
really
We come
hoping-
back. No, you don't.
Oh, speaking of things that come back, now that you've given me a segue, hey, Skep, guess what's coming back?
Oh
Radio
boy,
Shack.
I can't wait.
Radio Shack is coming back.
I
Wow.
almost became a senior programmer for them, Harry. I was going to
Well-
be a Visual Basic maven for them
Oh, God.
back in 1997, I think.
Well, as you
Ooh.
probably know, Radio Shack, went bankrupt over a decade ago. And I
That's
saw
about
this bit of
2005.
news that basically said, I just saw the headline that said Radio Shack was coming back. I thought, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. Radio Shack is coming back. How is that even possible?
Yeah.
So I
Wait.
looked it up, and it turns out it's a crypto play. It's a cynical crypto play using the name of Radio Shack.
God damn it.
Radio Shack, which you
Oh,
might best
its own
remember for
token.
carrying
Uh,
all manner of trending electronic goods since its founding in 1921, is restructuring. The company has decided that its step forward toward e-commerce weren't enough. It now wants to turn to blockchain technology. Specifically, it wants to become a decentralized finance provider, DeFi, and it's positioning itself as the only entity that can, in quotes, be the bridge between the CEOs who control the world's corporations and the new world of cryptocurrencies, close. To help that
Their
interesting
dreams.
string of words move toward reality, the company has decided to launch its own token, Radio.
Oh,
This
God.
is such bullshit, and it's so annoying. I mean, it's not like it's just ruining my childhood. It's just offensive on a much broader level. There's nothing that they're offering here. They're not doing anything. It's just a cynical way to try to take money off the crypto market using the name of a still loved but dead corporation.
Yeah, welcome to CryptoCorp.
do
And-
you know where the Radio Shack was headquartered?
In
Fort Worth,
Texas, but I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the twin Tandy buildings. Those were the first two of the first skyscrapers in Fort Worth, with the Tandy buildings. And actually, my father-in-law was good friends with Old Man Tandy. They both got their MBAs from Harvard, and very, very interesting people. Very interesting family and corporation, but this is utter bullshit. You realize that? Well, you do.
Oh, I
Harry,
do.
know, but this is
Which is-
complete crap.
Which is why I brought up the 1976 Radio Shack catalog.
Oh
That's
my
what I'm
God.
In
talking
here,
about.
you will actually see a list of all the places that used to have Radio Shack stores. It's a little small to read, I'm afraid. But
Yeah, but it's
you get
still,
the general idea.
uh,
There were a fuck ton of them.
Yes.
And
And they
it was
sold
actually
they sold
pretty
shiny
awesome.
metal objects and really amazing stuff.
You could get everything from a thing to upgrade the ignition on your car to a really janky looking radar detector in the bottom right corner.
Mhm.
You could get a multimeter. You could get for $35.
I'm looking at these
you could get
prices.
Yeah,
I
you
know.
can get a metal detector.
Prices. What year was this?
1976.
76. Oh, wow.
I know. Doesn't it just break your heart?
Yeah,
I
and see the
know.
3-channel color organ kit? I had one of those. This is the member berry part of the show. I totally had one of those because you had to basically put it together yourself. And what it did was it looked at the bass, treble, and mid-range, and depending on the intensity of the signals, different colored lights would sort of light up. And it was just a visual effect that you could have to I don't know, make the experience better. But I had one of the things. And I remember sitting with my friend Mark, and we were basically turned out the lights, had the color organ going with an oscilloscope sitting on top of it, playing switched on Bach and trying to figure out what was going on. I wasn't on drugs. He probably was, because that was kind of his thing. But no, Radio Shack used to be cool, man. You could get, there's all this great stuff. Like, I know I had one of these kits where you could take wires and you could create little electronic circuits without doing any solder. It's like a great thing you could do to learn analog electronics. This was awesome. I mean, Radio Shack was super cool. Here's the thing where you can make a crystal radio for $4, or a crystal radio or a transistor radio for $6. And here's the basic digital computer thing where you learn about, NOR and NAND and XOR and how those things get wired up. $30. This was good stuff, and it pisses me off.
Teach assembly language.
To see something like this that actually meant something as a kid, just cravenly just shat on.
And used, utterly used.
It's time for a bunch of people to get kicked in the nuts.
Mhm.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, Radio Shack was awesome. Man, when you needed rechargeable batteries or batteries of any kind, you could just go there. It's fantastic. But, I mean, a lot of Radio Shack stuff was kind of cheap, and I understand why it doesn't exist anymore. But for a long time, Radio Shack was pretty good. My first computer, other than my programmable calculator, it's a TRS-80 Model 1.
Did you have a Trash 80?
I had a Trash 80 Model 1 with level 16K of RAM with level 2 basic, with a cassette drive for loading programs. It was the first computer that I had. And I loaded APL on that thing and made it do all kinds of fantastic stuff.
You loaded APL on a Trash 80?
I did. I loaded a thing called APL 80, which was a port of APL on a Trash 80.
Oh,
great.
Okay, so somebody ported it. I thought you did the port. I thought, man, that's a little bit of work, because
I was a little above my level when I was 15. But
I don't believe that.
It was a good thing. I used to really like Radio Shack. I used to really like Radio Shack a lot.
Yeah,
but
me
it's now stupid, and a bunch of people need to just be beat with a dead fish.
Yeah,
the thing about
take their name in vain like that.
The thing about Radio Shack stores was they were uniformly small. They were always kind of small, and I remember people, some of them ex-wives, asking me politely, how can you stay in a store that small for that long? There's no way to explain it.
Nope.
They just have cool shit. And it's not that they have so much cool stuff there. They have some cool stuff in the stores. A lot of it you can order, but some of the fun was just talking with, people who were interested in that. This was at the time when, I was doing this when computers, well, I guess Harry was too, when computers were being invented. I was doing this in 1982, 83, and with my little Apple IIe and my Z80 card that, would run CPM. Anyway, sorry.
No, Z80 was a great processor.
Yep.
Yeah. As I recall, it had a more linear address space like the 68000 did, which also the PDP-11 programmers used to like it because the address was similar. And the heater control chip turned PC CPU that was in the IBM PC is a totally different creature at an assembly language level. And it's
Yeah.
painful to work with if you're not used to that.
It's a function of learning it. The assembly language is something you cannot fake. I will tell you that.
Can't. Yeah, you won't get very far.
Right.
But yeah, it was.
This is
go ahead.
that's something that stores need to go back to, actually having people that are knowledgeable. Some stores still do that, but so many stores, the people working the floor know effectively fuck all about what they're dealing with.
Yep.
They'll have a short blurb that they're told by the company to say if someone asks about this product or that product. But if you try to actually talk about what they're selling with them or go beyond what the blurb is, it becomes clear that they don't know what they're selling.
Yeah, they don't use the stuff they sell either.
Yeah. And it used to be, at least my perception of the past, I could be wrong because I did not experience it firsthand, but the way that I've heard it talked about, it sounds like it used to be that when you went into a store like a Radio Shack or insert store here and you asked about a product, they would actually be knowledgeable about the product that they're telling you about.
Yeah, I mean, if you went into Circuit City, which was a electronics, they sold all kinds of appliances.
Circuit City did a pretty good job, actually.
Yeah, they did. They actually usually had people per department who knew the stuff. You know, like if you were going to buy stereo speakers, they'd say, well, kind of what size room, or what are you going to be using, an amplifier? Or are you just using a receiver, you know, whatever. Okay, the Technic speakers over here are great for room XYZ size. You know, that kind of stuff. It was only toward the very bitter end of Circuit City when Best Buy kind of took over the market. Because Best Buy started off with people who knew their shit.
Yep.
And then they didn't.
Yeah, then they lost their goddamn way. And that's
retail, it's tough to hold on to people who are knowledgeable in the detail that we're talking about, Sanguine.
I know.
In retail, it's really, really tough to do that.
I know it's tough to do that, but the thing is that they don't even seem to try to do it anymore.
No, they don't. They don't. You know, it was a blessing I had in working in retail books, is that most people who'd come in and fill out an application at a bookstore already wanted to work in a bookstore. It wasn't just somebody who wanted a cashier job or a quick, you know, 8-12 hour a week part-time job. They actually wanted to be in a bookstore. You know, they'd heard that there were discounts for people that worked in bookstores, that kind of thing, you know, and it was very, very rare for somebody, even the part-timers, and that includes the younger people at the time, to show up who weren't bibliophiles. And that was a godsend, because you didn't have to encourage them to know the product.
But working in a bookstore, you have to take a vow of poverty.
Yeah, well, yes, you do, because you're going to spend your paycheck.
Oh my God!
You know, it's
not only that, they don't overpay.
No, they do not.
Never seen a bookstore that paid their employees, you know, barely anything much more than a living wage, just barely living wage.
Oh, they didn't even pay me that when I was managing a store. B. Dalton / Barnes and Noble. In the early 1990s, they were paying store managers $17,500.
Ouch.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it worked 60 hours a week.
That sounds great.
It was great. I absolutely adored it. I mean, look, I loved working in the bookstore
Yeah, but
because
you
it
didn't
was.
do it for the money. I mean, you did it for the money, but not.
I did
If you
it to
cared
have a
about money,
job.
you could have done something else.
I did it to have a job. Yeah, and because I was a history major, people weren't beating down the door to hire history majors. The worm
Still aren't.
No, the worm turned against liberal arts degrees
Mhm.
right around the time I graduated from college. I mean, in the earlier portion of the 70s, a lot of people liked liberal arts degree holders because they were flexible. They moved between disciplines well. They did not think within a single box. But everybody had to have an MBA in the 80s. That was like, what's the matter with you? You're not working toward an MBA? You know, if you weren't doing that, you better be going into computers.
Or plastics.
Yeah.
So while we're jogging the member berries, I also brought up the 1973 J.C. Penney Christmas Wishbook, just to sort of get a sense of what like the big deal was here. So here,
oh my God, the fondue set.
You can get a fondue set or chessboard or a terrarium that looks like an hourglass.
Yeah, don't get the hourglass terrarium.
Yeah. You could get like a blue and a pink, I don't know, hippo that like hug each other. You could do that. So this is good stuff. This is the crap that people wanted back then. You get a really poorly made miniature shuffleboard thing, or Don Adams could teach you how to play roulette.
And
or Skittle
quickly
Bingo,
scroll
or whatever
back
the hell
up
we're
to
calling
the shuffleboard one.
Skittle Bingo.
Because is it just me, or does it look vaguely like the father in that picture's holding it up so that the legs don't give?
That's possible. Fathers did a lot of dodgy things back then. I'm going to prove that in a moment. But this was like the big thing where everybody's waiting for like a AAA game now and $70 and spending tons of money. We just had this non-electronic stuff to occupy our time.
Oh, there was
we were pretty damn happy.
Yeah, there was a pendulum bowling game where you swung basically a pendulum.
That kid looks like he's going to grow up to be a serial killer with that smile.
Oh God.
Okay, so if we're gonna do that, let me just segue to the thing where, because I brought up some really regrettable Christmas photos, nothing from me, just Christmas photos in general, and I just wanted to see how you guys react to this. So I figured we'd start out tame. Start out with those nice.
Oh, look at the upholstery on that chair. Oh my God.
I'm somewhat surprised that the chair's upholstery doesn't match the people.
No. Gingham was not big for upholstery then.
It's
tragic.
Well,
it's tragic that I remember this, but
this is a thing people used to do. I don't think people dress in identical outfits now. Am I confused? This isn't something that happens.
Professional sports teams do.
Oh yeah. Well,
I've seen it.
You have good ideas and bad ideas. Like there's this picture where
what in
this
the
old guy
name of
wearing
God
shorts,
is the kid wearing?
I don't know if that's like his older daughter and younger daughter, or his second wife, or what the hell I'm looking at. But they're in the desert and they're celebrating Christmas, and it's starting to get freakishly weird.
Yeah, the youngest one looks like they're wearing the Andre the Giant wrestling getup.
Yeah,
where it's
lots of
effectively
people
a
are awkward
diaper with
at that
suspenders.
age.
Yeah, but it
lots
looks
of
like
people
they're
are
wearing
awkward
incontinent
at that age.
It's not how awkward they look. It is the fact that they're wearing a diaper with suspenders.
Yeah, and Dad's short shorts and his elephantiasis leg.
Hey, Prospero, do me a favor and keep an eye on chat, because I can't do this and keep an eye on chat at the same time.
Oh, okay. Yes, I will.
So what do you think of this picture?
That is the oldest baby I have ever seen.
It's Edward G. Robinson as a baby. Now look
Get some
at here,
milk.
copper.
Yeah. Get some milk.
Yeah. Smell the beans.
It's feeding time. Baby needs a new diaper. Yeah.
Take off your
Yeah,
shirt.
I'm never
Mom.
gonna do that again. But there's
Another
that.
person that it could have been is that is an infantile Gilbert Godfrey.
Okay. So there's this.
Devo groupies.
And I understand it. I admire the effort. They've got the matching outfits. It looks good. This isn't terrible. Why the fuck are they holding ears of corn?
Why is the teen daughter trying to screw the corn?
I don't understand this.
Because that looks like a screwdriver to me.
Futuristic children of the
And the
What
corn.
the hell is that? Yeah, that is a screwdriver.
Yeah,
Good call, man.
which is why I said, why is she trying to screw the corn? It's the weirdest fucking part about that picture.
Well, I mean, there's just a lot of pictures that are bad. I mean, this poor thing is just awkward. No. Poor thing. I feel bad for her.
It looks like her hair has gone green because of the work that was done to the picture.
No, she's way too young to be tarted up that much. I'm sorry. I don't think your mom should let you wear lipstick yet. And then there's this picture where things started to get strained.
No, that's just the kid trying to imitate his parents.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. It still
But
looks really
apparently
weird, and I think
Also going to eat his younger sibling's nose.
okay. This is just like no. Sorry. Now, this is the point where it starts to get odd. It's at a certain point that one or more members of the people in the picture stop wearing clothes. I don't know why. This just seems to happen. Like,
What? Wait a minute.
What the fuck?
That's a face of someone who should not be trusted around children.
I'm not pleased by this at all.
No, that is
No, this is not
bad.
good. This
The
is not good at all.
gynecomastia alone is a little scary.
okay.
I want to
Okay,
see
what
somebody about those cancers.
Yeah, Daddy liked drinking.
We don't know.
Oh
what's
my
going on with
God!
this
The
picture.
look of the soulless expression of the "Why did you buy this?"
He's got like the 70s porn stash now. We know that he's not wearing any clothes from the waist up. We don't know what's going on in the picture. So there's a
He's
certain
got
He's
pants.
wearing
You can
pajama
see the
bottoms.
corner of his knee on the side of the house.
I can't see anything.
I can see the corner of his knee.
Oh, thank God. At least he's wearing pants.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's definitely wearing pajama bottoms.
Okay, well this is not the worst thing yet. It gets better. Okay. Is he wearing pants, Prospero?
I don't know. Hang on, I've got to come back because I'm
I
watching
think
chat. Yeah, I think that's a play on the Burt Reynolds Cosmo cover.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's the best I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then they went from these guys to people that now we've got like a whole members of the family that aren't.
I'm just happy there aren't any kids in this one.
Oh, okay. Well, here, let me fix that.
Yeah, that one's really disturbing, and I've seen it before.
I don't like this at all.
No,
Make that go away.
that's make
Okay.
it go away.
No, don't think something worse. Not worse.
I know.
Oh Jesus, tap
That
dancing.
father
What the
just really wanted to wear a diaper, and he figured out a way.
And here's just like, hey, let's all just wear towels because that makes sense. Why not do that?
Of course.
How about the sign? What do you guys think of the sign?
This is terrifying. All of this is
Wise
terrifying.
men still seek him. That's all it says.
Or
That's all it says.
we
No, I
seamen.
know. No. Wise men still seek him. That's what it
That
says.
is what it says.
Oh, thank God there's not an extra I or there's. This is.
All I can say in defense of this particular part of the show is it seemed like a good idea when I was together. I'm sorry. Oh, there he is again. Damn it. Okay. That's enough of that. Okay. Member
Boy, that
barrels.
is
That's all-
sickening.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
Like I said, that father just wanted to figure out a way that he could wear a diaper. And he did.
I
No.
don't understand. I don't
think you're
It's
supposed
also,
to.
Humans were a mistake.
Humans were a mistake. Oh, just for one last little thing. I'm not loading Flash. Ask. Is I've got the 1977 Sears.
Oh boy.
Man, Sears is a
Oh,
company that willfully committed suicide.
Yeah, so this was about the point where you started getting shitty video games, but we thought it was awesome. I mean, we ate this crap up.
Oh man, I had one of those Atari consoles.
So did I.
Yeah, you could play games, and every game had to be on these cartridges.
I sucked
All
at
those cartridges, right?
I
Yeah.
sucked at Frogger.
Yeah, you know, this is like just one generation after Super Pop. Look, you want to play a motocross game? Here's the thing for $84. Have like little fake handles and buttons. Here's Tank. You know, these are games that don't play like lots of different things. These are single purpose games.
Yep.
It does one thing
Mhm.
poorly. Anyway, all right, enough of that nonsense. Oh, that's right. I figured we needed a palate cleanser about now.
Thank you.
Kill.
I needed a lobotomy.
Let me kill the sound so we don't get copy struck. How about this, Prospero?
Oh dear God. What in the name of God? Oh God. Oh no. You know that's not Jesus. No Jew would get caught like that. They have innate.
Not an Ashkenazi. Anyway.
No, they have innate engineering skills, and his hair is the wrong color for a Sephardic. Good God, that is just spectacular.
I know, is it great?
Jesus, take the escalator. Oh my God. Maybe
All
they should have
right.
given him a wheel instead.
No. Just as all we're trying to have mostly light stuff here, but Twitch suspends an Amazon Prime Video channel, likely for NSFW.
That was so funny. I just thought that was hilarious.
Well, did you send that one?
No, I just think it's funny.
I think it's hilarious too. It's like, Amazon, what are you doing? You just think that on Twitch it's just all women in tubs, like kiddie pools full of Jello or something, so you can do whatever the hell you want? Or you think you're just too big to be canceled?
Well, they own Twitch, so it is a little strange.
Yeah, but that doesn't give them a writ of carte blanche to break all the rules.
No, and they made the rules, right?
I mean, the people making this show for Amazon, or this running channel for Amazon, don't own Twitch. They're just employees who are following internal rules.
Yeah,
But it looks like they're having a good time.
Yeah.
I did enjoy hearing about the recent Twitch bans that happened. Have you guys heard about what happened to Hassan and
Yes.
Vosh?
Yeah, and then Hassan got his channel back and went right back to listing off all the things he said that were bad.
Yep.
Because
That's the sad part of that story.
That's what Hassan does. He's such a dick.
Yeah, guys like that don't learn their lesson.
No. And Vosh is a category all his own.
How much money does Hassan Piker make again? It's some ridiculous amount per year.
Yeah,
Being a professional communist.
His head
He's
is
a
still
multi-millionaire now.
his head is still too small for his shoulders.
Because the amount that was published wasn't his full earnings. That was just part of his Twitch earnings.
Mm-hmm.
He's such
Because if I remember correctly, that was just effectively their version of AdSense. So it didn't include the donations that he was given on stream, nor did it include him editing and uploading the videos onto YouTube and then getting YouTube AdSense as well.
Mm-hmm.
Or his patrons.
One of the best things that happened in the last week was Elon Musk was on the Babylon Bee.
Mm-hmm.
They did an interview with him, and it was fantastic. It was very interesting, very entertaining.
It's worth an hour and a half of your time.
But the nice thing is you see all of these memes that end up becoming true. So I ended up seeing this in Discord just recently. Someone in Newark, Ohio has a sense of humor. Basically, this billboard, for the love of God, please stop Joe Biden. He thinks his name is Brandon now.
I know, that is
Nice.
great.
Okay, so this is the meme, and then like a couple days later, this happens.
That's wonderful that you have a 2-year-old.
Yes.
Have a Merry Christmas. Have a wonderful Christmas.
And by the way, you guys have to be in bed by 9 o'clock, you know, and asleep between 9 and 12, or he doesn't show up.
I'm not an old
This
man.
isn't to you, Jared. This is to the kids.
That's right. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas.
Well, yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas as well.
Okay.
Merry Christmas, and let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree. Hey, by the way, are you in Oregon?
That is
Yeah,
precious.
it's absolutely how. I mean, even Jill laughs. I'm sorry, Dr. Lady Macbeth. And it's like, okay, if he were in his right mind, he'd just chuckle, and once the call ended, roll his eyes and say, "There's one in every bunch,"
Just go, come on, man.
you know, or something like that. But yeah, and I agree. It's like, oh dear God.
Let's go, Brandon.
Well, if he knew the name of the racer and actually said, let's go, Brandon, whatever your name is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I was him, I would know that, and I would just pretend the person was being serious. Sometimes when somebody does something asinine, the best thing you can do is just take them, just stone cold face value.
Absolutely.
Just take it like that as a way of diffusing the joke.
Yes.
But Biden can't remember his own name half the time. You
No.
can't expect him to remember that NASCAR guys.
Now, and here's the really tragic thing. The mainstream media took this and referred to the whole "Let's Go Brandon" as a right-wing slur.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the name Brandon is now a slur.
Is it just Brandon's, or is it also the Brandons?
God only knows, Sanguine. God only knows, because the punitive nature, and it's funny because I already saw the Twitterati, the Blue Anon Twitterati, are all out to dox this guy. They're calling for his head. He's been outed, and they're happy he's going to be harassed.
Mm-hmm.
And in the same breath, they're saying, well, it's always those evangelical Trump people who are so hateful. Oh, Mr. Skep.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. I'm
Fell
right
asleep
behind
there.
you, man.
It has been a long day since 3 o'clock this morning, and I'm just too old for this.
You should take
Terribly
off.
sad. I'm all right. That was a nice little break. I'm pumped up now.
All right.
He's had his
That's a
combat nap.
power nap.
Yeah.
Power
Yeah,
nap.
power nap, exactly.
Yeah. Well, let me just move things along. Now, who could have seen this coming? Oh, me. Who could have seen this coming. They have basically made it so that pot is so freakishly expensive, if you buy it legally, that people have figured, I could just go back to buying the crap from the Mexican cartels.
Mhm.
And it's making it so that as an industry, pot in California isn't really working out all well. I know. Colorfully surprised.
Only
It's
in
almost like when you legalize something, you can't then make it so expensive that it's, again, cheaper to smuggle that shit.
Yeah, you don't want the black market to be substantially cheaper. So here in this thing, California's pot industry representatives sent a letter to Governor Goodhair explaining that the state's legal industry is on the verge of collapse. It needs immediate tax cuts and rapid expansion of retail outlets for relief. The letter, signed by more than 24 executives, industry officials, and legalization advocates, followed years of complaints that the heavily taxed and regulated industry was unable to compete with the widespread illegal economy, where consumer prices are far lower and sales are double or triple the legal business.
good God.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's going to be great. All we have to do is make it legal and then tax the shit out of it.
No, and see, that's the problem. They immediately go into revenuer mode. It's like Lori Lightfoot. She wants to crack down on crime. So what's one of the things she sets as a goal? Asset forfeiture.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's like, God damn it, that is not cracking down on crime. That's endorsing state crime. That's
Well, let's get our resident libertarians' take, Skep.
It's an interesting problem. I think probably what they've done two things wrong that big governments always do. They overtax and they overregulate. They have artificially inflated the cost of doing business for the producers in California, and they also end up artificially inflating the sales price. And the market, when it's faced with these irrational inputs, comes out with irrational outputs. And the irrational output here is that the industry, as they say, I doubt that it's collapsing, but what it is that there isn't enough opportunity for marginal revenue to justify the beta, the risk part of the equation that you take when you go into a business. There just isn't enough return there. Mm-hmm. And when that happens, you get fewer and fewer people entering the market as producers, as players. And what happens is you have the big guys who have staying power, and they increasingly fight for a smaller and smaller piece they're fighting with each other to maintain their income level when the pie itself is actually shrinking.
Mm-hmm.
When that happens, you get competition from outside, which is what's happening here, where the criminal element comes in and they say, we're going to bring this in and we're going to show you how to run this thing like a business. We're not paying any taxes, and if anybody comes to our house, we'll shoot them. And also, and if you don't think that's the way things are in Humboldt County, that is the way things are up there. People have been killed up there.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, if you go to the wrong parts of the woods accidentally, you don't come out.
That's right.
Yeah, I've actually talked to a guy who one guy who was actually in that business up there, and I've talked to another guy who was in forestry up there, and they both will corroborate every single thing you just said. Go ahead, Sanguine.
And this being California, I would be rather surprised that there isn't a interesting business model of go to dispensary that's legal, shoplift the ever-living hell out of it, then sell the weed for profit, then go to the next dispensary, shoplift the hell out of it, so on and so forth. Just, you never have to worry about how are you going to get your supply. You never have to worry about being caught for growing on your own, because growing is still a federal issue. But you also don't have to worry about getting charged for shoplifting, because as long as you keep it below, what is it, $900?
$950.
$950 in a single go, then you're golden. You have nothing to worry about from that.
Yeah, and that's not a daily limit. That's a per shoplifting event.
Yep.
By the way, I have a quick question just for the panel about that. These people are coming into places like Walgreens and walking out with $500-600 worth of stuff. That is tax revenue that the state is not going to get. Why are they not
cash? And then we'll deal.
Well, no. My point, my point, and I do have one, is that why doesn't the state come after these guys for stealing from the state? Because they literally are doing that. California is a giant monster that is fed by the tax receipts of that giant state. And these people are circumventing that. I don't see why they don't charge them with theft of state monies.
Well, because it's the problem with the DAs, your Gascons and down in LA. And God, I forget the name of the the nitwit in San Francisco, but there are a number of these DAs that let them get away with it. They don't even worry about the $950. They just don't charge these people because they're stealing bread. And they think that there's some social justice reason to just let these guys off. You don't see this type of crime happening nearly as often in parts of California where the DAs prosecute shoplifters.
It's kind of like how when I was working at the prison, I've talked about this before. The entire time that I was working at the prison, about once a month, there would be a female correction officer who was caught going dirty, sucking, fucking, and smuggling, is what I mean by that. And the local DA made it clear that he would not charge female correction officers caught for that. So
de facto legalization.
Yep, de facto legalization. So it would be once a month, someone would be caught, they would lose their job at the prison, but despite it being in the laws that all sex in prison is rape, they would never actually be charged. So it didn't matter that it said in the books that all sex in prison is rape, because they never got charged. So it wasn't.
Wow.
There are rapes and there are rapes.
Yep. And I stress the fact that he wouldn't charge any female correction officer, because there was one incident the entire time that I was a correction officer in my area where it was a male correction officer traded a hamburger for a blowjob, I think it was.
Good God.
And yeah,
that's a good deal.
He's currently in prison in another state as a sex offender.
Wait, who got what?
He gave the hamburger in exchange for the blowjob.
Okay.
There's probably there's probably a joke about dating in there somewhere. No, I don't think we even have to look very far.
There's a wimpy joke in there.
Yeah.
Well, I think even in
awesome this Big Mac. Yeah. Okay.
In Daria's sister Quinn once said, movie burger backseat. I'm going to find somebody with a bigger backseat who'll take me someplace nice.
Mm-hmm.
Love that show. So anyway, let's make fun of California some more, shall we? This is a list of new California laws that are going to go into effect in 2022. So good. So good. We don't have to beat these to death, but of course it's going to start with the bacon law. Now, little known fact, the people in California decided to pass a state initiative that's going to make it nearly impossible to import bacon into California because it requires an amount of space for the pigs to be raised in, or the hogs to be raised in, which is more than anybody gives them except for like a few percent of the places in the US. And California doesn't have domestic producers that produce large amounts of stuff. So coming January 1st, there's a real question about whether bacon or pork shoulder, anything else is going to be here. And I'm really looking forward to people walking, people of limited incomes walking into their local taqueria expecting to get carnitas and getting nothing. This could be the year that it all fucking turns around for California, because they have own gold themselves so hard on some of this stuff. You take away people's bacon and they might actually start to give a damn. It's one thing to be told to stay home, just like order stuff from Amazon and drink beer all day. It's a whole nother thing to find out that you don't have any bacon. Or
you're
al
going to
pastor,
have,
or chili verde, or carnitas, etc., etc., etc.
You will have a black market in imported bacon.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. You're
Well,
going
no
to have
kidding.
a black market for bacon, which is hilarious and depressing at the same time.
Well, there's a black market for foie gras. We already did this with foie gras, but most people in California don't give a shit about goose livers.
Yeah, bacon is another story.
This is going to
Bacon
get
is a
people's
food group.
attention.
Yeah.
Bacon is life for some people. I'm not even like the most bacon obsessed person, but if I go to
But
get a
when
street
it-
taco and I can't get pastor, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, and when bacon becomes like Wagyu beef, it's going to be a problem.
So another thing that we have here is large stores must have a toy section that is not marketed by gender.
I heard about this one as well, which
That's right.
the fuck?
So they're not going to start enforcing it until 2024, but the general idea is that if you have a large store and you sell toys, you have to have lots of non-gender specific stuff for people to buy, because this is just a problem the government needs to solve. Crazy.
What constitutes a reasonable selection?
I think it's subjective. It depends on how much they feel like finding you.
That's kind of my point. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you'll still be able to get your favorite cocktails to go. That is awesome, and we're not going to complain about that. As long as it's not a drive-through, I think that's fine. So we've got a whole bunch of police reforms that are coming to California. This is going to be one of the most noteworthy is a law that decertifies police officers found to have committed misconduct. Previously, problematic officers could sometimes find employment in other areas without repercussions. Now they will have to have their license revoked, so they cannot simply switch departments after being fired. I don't know how I feel about this. I just
It's
worry
not that big a
anything they do is
problem.
just going to make it worse. Sorry?
It's not that big a problem.
Yeah, because they
in
never
terms
fired
of
these
number of people.
guys. So
I'm
they're gonna
curious
have to see.
what all they're
Go
going to
ahead.
consider as something worthy of blacklisting.
Well, they're going to have to get permission to purchase surplus government military equipment. And additionally, peace officers can no longer use tear gas or rubber bullets on protesters unless all other crowd control methods had been exhausted. And it is obviously reasonable to defend against a threat to life or serious bodily injury.
Wait, so they aren't allowed to use crowd control methods unless all other crowd control methods are used.
They're not allowed to use tear gas or rubber bullets unless you've done everything else and it's sufficiently dangerous to life, to somebody's life.
Basically,
Like I
have
said-
to wait till somebody gets hurt. Is what
Yeah, like I
Okay,
said, you
yeah.
aren't allowed to use crowd control methods until all crowd control methods are tried. And there's these added caveats. Because other than chemical and Sabaton, rubber bullet, whatever you want to call them, are used, those are the main crowd control methods.
Well, we don't have enough water to run the fire hoses, so
yeah, the only other ones would be fire hoses, or
it's got to be a comfort.
The dogs,
beating sticks, or technically, live rounds are a method of crowd control, but I doubt they've thought it through and realized that is technically, it's a method of doing that.
Well, Joe Biden would tell you
not crowd
just to shoot at their
control.
feet.
No, it's not crowd control, Sanguine. Seriously, they would classify that as deadly force. And that it comes under a whole different set of use guidelines.
You can't go full
realize
Kent
that
State on them.
No.
I realize that to a fair degree, but I'm saying that when you get rid of the less than lethals, you make the lethals the next go. Because if you can't use less than lethal methods, the moment that it becomes a threat of grievous bodily harm or death, which it will, because you've gotten rid of the methods of stepping things down, then live rounds become the go-to, because that is, once it reaches threat of grievous bodily injury, well, sometimes known as great bodily harm, or chance of death, that's when you go live.
I think what they're going to try and do, though, is teach the police to shoot people in non-lethal parts of their body. Just shoot to wound, kind of.
That's going to
and
work.
that I think I feel like that's really realistic. That's not going to be a problem.
Every time I hear that, I always want the same thing answered. And every time I've had someone try to answer my question, they fuck it up royally. My one question is, okay, so where do they shoot? What part of the body do they shoot?
Non-lethal areas of the body.
What part of the body?
Non-lethal areas.
Yeah, that isn't.
You can tell they're non-lethal. You can tell they're non-lethal because the person won't die.
Because a lot of people will say, "Oh, shoot him in the leg."
Nope, shoot him in a non-lethal part. The leg can be very lethal. It's full of arteries and big veins.
That's exactly what I was getting at. A lot of people will say shoot him in the leg, though, because there's the idea that shooting someone in the leg is non-lethal. There's a lot of veins and arteries that
same problem comes with shooting them in the arm or the torso, or the trunk or the head. Is that all of those are lethal areas? So you need to shoot them in a non-lethal place.
But what if they have diabetes? It doesn't matter if they bleed out or not. They could die from complications of gunshot.
And the problem is, effectively, there's no area that is a non-lethal area.
Well, I think we've explored this edge case long enough.
Yeah, why couldn't
I'm
they
move
just
on
ask
to the
them
next
if
thing,
they have diabetes and anyway, go ahead.
So limitations on mugshots posted on social media by police. Basically, non-violent people won't have their mugshots posted after an arrest. And this, in my opinion, is just another thing to make it easier on the protesters. Because Andy No loves posting pictures of people's mugshots. And this will stop the social media platforms and the police from putting these things out. California is going to raise its minimum wage yet again as part of the state's continued incremental raising of the minimum wage toward a $15 an hour goal. It will hit $14 an hour on January 1st for employers with 25 employees or less, and increase to $15 for those with 26 or more. Some Bay Area localities already pay more, like Mountain View, which pays $17.10. Because this isn't going to hurt the inflation problem at all, along with all the pork that they can.
This is going to put all the small businessmen out of business. All the small retailers, they're done. Done.
It's also going to do what it's done every other time someone's come up with a great idea of let's raise the minimum wage. It's going to price people out of the market.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
this next one I actually like. food delivery apps can't hold on to tips. Yeah, that's fine. Because I don't like it when I give a tip to somebody and then find out that behind the scenes there's somebody that's doing something with it other than what I intend. If I'm tipping somebody for service, I'm not planning on tipping, other people. I mean, I know why I'm giving money. I just think it's fair. I almost don't care who gets the tip. I just want to know who it is as the tipper. So I can adjust my behavior accordingly.
Yeah, if the company wants to keep it, have it in big, bold letters that all tips will be kept by the company. If it's going to the actual workers, let us know that it's going to the actual workers.
Yeah, so this bill here, AB 701, is another brainchild of Lorena Gonzalez, who is, in my opinion, one of the worst legislators in the country.
Oh, God.
When it comes to coming up with laws to completely destroy the economy of whatever she's in charge of, she is the best. She's the one that tried to make it so that came up with the bill that screwed a bunch of gig workers. And also, it didn't just screw people working for Uber, but it also ended up screwing independent writers and a whole bunch of other people that she thought should have full-time union jobs with benefits, and that just doesn't work.
Yeah, it screwed a bunch of companies too, by the way.
Yeah, she screws everything up that she touches. So their main thing here is warehouse fulfillment quota crackdown. Regulates productivity quotas for warehouse distribution centers with more than 100 employees at a single site. Yeah, if you don't want Amazon to open distribution centers in California, this seems like a great plan.
Nevada and Arizona will be littered with them.
Well, why shouldn't an employer be able to say, in exchange for your employment, I expect you to do, X. This is the level of productivity they. Am I missing something?
No.
No.
This is spectacular. This is just so risible.
Yes, risible's the right word.
This is again a blue state just trying to commit economic suicide.
All right. Well, Sora's going to join us in 5 minutes.
This is going to be really good though for Western Oregon. Because Western Oregon, Nevada, it'll be great.
All the states that surround California are about to have massive windfall.
Yeah, and and Amazon will figure out which counties in Oregon they can go into without getting bent over and rogered. Because there's a big difference between Eastern Oregon and Western Oregon.
Well, while we're solving the world's
story.
problems, 2 Brazilian politicians settled a dispute over a water park / conservation project by fighting each other in a 3-round MMA fight.
Good Lord.
Based Brazil.
Well, let's see how based Brazil is after their next election. Because they've got a socialist running that, if Brazil goes back to communist socialist, pretty much the entire continent will be, because Chile's just elected a socialist. We're going to have a Pinochet 2.0.
Yep.
Argentina's in the shitter.
You may hate Pinochet, but he did some good things.
No, I don't hate Pinochet at all. Look, how many fascists do you know that retire?
Yep.
Yeah,
that's always
exactly. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's always the thing that pisses me off when I hear people say that Pinochet was a fascist. I'm going, because they're all known for being able to be voted out of office.
They call him that because he went after the commies.
Yep.
And
he killed a bunch of them. He did kill them.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he killed a bunch of them, but as far as body count,
actually have a huge problem with.
As far as body counts go, though, Pinochet is a piker.
Oh yeah, he's not even amateur status.
No, I mean, the helicopter was kind of funny, but
yeah,
it's
good times.
Yeah, well, for a good while, Chile has prospered.
Yep. By
comparison to the rest of the continent, Chile has done well. Unfortunately, they've decided, because they have been doing well for long enough to forget how horrible it is, they're shifting back left. You know, Argentina's been a lost cause for a long time.
You know, Chile has become such a big agricultural producer. That's going to be a shame if they end up really communizing their situation, because their agriculture yields will go down, and the big companies who import from them will start to lose interest.
Yep.
Much less profitable.
Well, their yields will go down.
Shame.
Their pricing will go up. They're going to lose the edge that they've begun to develop in certain wines.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Chilean wines are, you know,
they're outstanding,
yeah.
and they're so reasonably priced as are Argentine wines.
You just have to know which ones to get. It's a little harder to navigate that part of the wine store.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem that in the trade, the Wine Spectators and, you know, those kinds of publications, they've at least branched out and been trying more of the smaller vintners that are producing in the area. I know Naked Wines, which kind of does a fair bit of subscription work to support smaller agriculture, have a fair number of Argentine and Chilean vintners. And I mean, you can get reasonably priced, decent Malbecs pretty easily. And I know they were coming along with their Pinot Noir.
Well, what about online wine sales? Just think, all you'll have to do is lick your computer screen to see what the wine.
Well, you've got. I live in a state where, I mean, I was able to do Naked Wines because Virginia finally, you know, unhitched at least a eye hook on the girdle. But states that have ABC boards, alcohol beverage control boards, where they have the monopoly on the sales of alcohol, like North Carolina and Virginia, God, do they suppress competition. And they also suppress choice.
Florida's not much better.
Florida?
Yeah, Florida's got a lot of weird import restrictions on alcohol.
Yeah. They had
Pennsylvania's like that.
But they had drive-through liquor stores when I was born.
Yeah, if you own an actual winery in California, you can ship directly to Florida. But if you are a retailer, you can't.
Yeah,
it's pretty locked down.
Yeah, there are some very, very strange alcohol regulations in the United States. Not that I want any more federal control of anything. I believe that states have the choice, but they need to stop making stupid choices based on old prohibition mentality.
Well, we need to stop letting Antifa have all the fun. The rest of us need to start making a holy stink about all the bullshit.
Yeah.
It's well past time. People need to stop being so complacent. And when their governments do stupid things, they need to say something.
Yep.
It's you know, we get the government.
But you can't do that now without being called a terrorist, because anybody that says anything against the government right now is obviously a right-wing nutter and a terrorist.
Hello, Sora.
Hello. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas,
Are you well
Sora.
fed?
I am a little bit overfed. But here I was thinking, oh, we talk about Christmas stuff and Pinochet. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
excellent.
It sounds like a wine. So I wanted to ask you, going back for a couple things I wanted to run by you here. There was this story where a model in Germany, in Berlin, is claiming that her friend disinvited her for her wedding because she looked too good in the bridesmaid gown. Now, I'm calling bullshit on this, and the rest of us all agree that it's bullshit. Please tell me, do you believe for a second that this is a bridesmaid?
Wait,
I've seen a lot of bridesmaids. I've never seen a bridesmaid's dress.
Yeah, I doubt that the bridesmaid dress.
I don't think that's a bridesmaid dress.
Yeah, I don't think
I
any
would
of this
say-
is true.
That might be like the bride's reception dress, maybe.
Wow.
This isn't the bride. This is the bride's friend, who's the 21-year-old model.
Oh, and she's the one who's claiming, and that's her.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, if the bride was the one who wanted her bridesmaids to wear the sort of Vegas showgirl type dress, then that's on her.
Well, because usually when I see bridesmaids, they're like
Frumpy.
swathed in an amorphous layer of colored fabric, right? It's always like something that's very unflattering.
Pink
Usually the bridesmaids
chiffon.
do not look good.
Peach chiffon.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Taffeta.
Taffeta. Yeah.
I had when I was a bridesmaid, it was like a light blue chiffon. But we got to buy our own. We got to, as long as we were within the color scheme, we got to pick our own dresses. But traditionally nowadays, usually if you're asked to be a bridesmaid, it seems like it's like 50-50. A lot of the times the bride is the one paying for the dresses, I'm guessing, or at the very least are telling you what to buy, and then you say yes depending.
Oh,
ow.
Hey, I've got earbuds in. It hurt me too.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so here's
that doesn't look. That looks more like a prom dress.
a prom dress or something you'd wear at carnival because
gosh darn it, technology suck. Sorry. Okay, this is clearly going great. Thanks. Sora. Okay, but you agree with me that this is not a bridesmaid dress, and that she just made this up for cred, for clout.
Yeah, this is a little bit, and if it is, which I am very doubtful, then that's on the bride. The bride was stupid.
Well, she wanted all her bridesmaids to look like they were cheap and easy.
If the bride is worried about competition from the bridesmaids, why would you invite the 21-year-old model to begin with?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, I have heard stories, and I've read where people got disinvited because they were pregnant, and brides, like the whole bridezilla thing. The bride didn't like the fact, well, you look fat in the dress because you're pregnant. Mm-hmm. That happens because people are assholes like that. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities that this may happen, but I don't think so. Not from the state of the dress.
No.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing that Sanguine will identify. I think this is a great thing to have Sanguine. Study: 70% of men would rather die early than give up meat.
Fuck yeah, I'm one of them.
Normal functions of men and humans alike, also known as toxic masculinity by the left, reign supreme again in a new study conducted by No Meat May. No Meat May, a group that encourages people to give up meat for a month, fight me. On the fraudulent basis of climate change and fight against toxic masculinity, recently conducted a study that surveyed 1,000 male participants. 73% of the men, all named Chad, said they would rather die 10 years early than quit eating any more meat.
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
And you know the funny thing is about that No Meat May crowd?
Yeah.
Look, if you'll cut us a deal about lengthy porcine, because I know we're not supposed to say the other phrase.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to hunt you for No Meat May. Well, you might just have a deal. But well, yeah. Well, what do they want it to go? You're telling me to give up meat for a month? No.
Have you looked at the meat?
Make
the meat
like a turkey,
substitutes?
little fucker, and get stuffed.
They're like 3 times the cost. I can, for like $10, you can get 2 measly looking fake sausages in the Beyond Meat thing.
Oh, that Beyond Meat.
Beyond Meat is one of probably the better options for the ingredients.
For quality,
but if you look, if you look at the, like, think of like Dea, I think it's called Dea cheese. That's the fake.
Oh God, that stuff.
Cheese. if you just read the ingredients of them, they're not healthy. They're terrible. A lot of these
No.
processed vegan
Exactly
slash
right.
vegetarian
Yeah.
food do have a lot. And I mean, that's not every processed stuff has a lot of crap in them. But if you're, you know, no one is advocating, when you hear these people, they're not saying like, oh, just cook from pulses and bulk buy and all this stuff. No, they're going to the freezer section and buying already pre-produced meat substitutes
Yeah, they're
that
not
Right.
are
making a
supposed to
good.
taste like chicken nuggets or steak or something.
Yeah, they're
Let's
not
let
making
Sanguine
a
say.
a
Sanguine was
tasty-
trying to talk. Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry,
Yeah,
Sanguine.
Sorry.
The thing
go
that
ahead.
always drives me crazy about them is they're always talking about how amazing their food is and how it tastes so great. And then what do they always say? It tastes just like meat. If your food was so fucking amazing, why are you trying to imitate what I can already eat?
Yes.
My guess is that the idea is for someone who just like smoking, right? You slowly, for the people who don't go cold turkey, it's to wean you off of that, right? By introducing substitutes that taste like what you like. So then slowly you get used to not eating the actual thing, and eventually you don't need it at all. That's being generous.
See, the main problem that I have with that idea is that I have never had something that people claim tastes just like meat. That I'm going, yeah, this actually tastes like meat. No, it tastes like what someone who had meat described to them poorly once would think meat tastes like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's,
I will say though, and this may be oh my god, Prospero, I agree. But I do like Beyond Meat hamburgers. I actually really like the taste of those. I would never substitute that permanently though. That's a sometimes food. Our A&W up here has sells them.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I actually really like, or the Starbucks, if you want to have like breakfast sandwich, they have a Beyond Meat breakfast sandwich. I really like the taste of it.
Yeah, the corn ones, or corn or whatever they were called. Cree took up veggie burgers when he was doing Weight Watchers a while back, and he can still eat Morningstar Farms. I can't even be in the kitchen when he's cooking them. I cannot stand the smell of them. He does better with something like that. Black bean burgers and things like that, I think, are great. I mean, they're for older people who don't like to drink prune juice, they might not be the best choice. But
You know what makes black beans taste really good? Lard.
Oh yeah,
Yes, indeed.
yeah. Well, the other thing that'll make them really taste good is like a can of Rotel tomatoes with serranos,
Mm-hmm.
and then cook them down into basically a paste with the spicy stuff in it. And then, I think black beans taste great. But yeah, no, lard is.
Can I make a comment about this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing with meat substitutes. In order to make a meat substitute, they have to use some chemicals that they use just a tiny bit of, and that's mostly to preserve whatever it is they're concocting.
Mhm.
The difference between like eating Cheerios, which has BHA and BHT added in as preservatives, those amounts added are absolutely tiny. They're so tiny as to be in the machinery of the human body. It's a fart in a windstorm. Not so with these meat substitutes. Meat substitutes have substantially larger amounts of chemicals we don't really know very much about how they affect the human body. The amount of binder that they have to use, which they say is inert, but they have no information to prove that it's inert in the human body, is enormous. That's always the thing they're trying to do is keep the goddamn thing together and have it hold together and come apart like meat does. And in order to do that, they basically have to put a glue in there to glue these slippery lipidinous molecules together that don't want to hang together. They want to slip apart and into a big puddle of slime. And so they have to add a bunch of shit to it to get it to stay together, basically. And we don't know much about what the effects of those binders are. And they, we may think that they're, it may seem like they ought to be inert, but the way you find out that you're wrong is when you have a thalidomide tragedy.
I'd rather eat a bowl of that whole grain Cheerio mix that they use honey or something like that. It's slightly sweetened, but it's the oats and the rice and it's not just the regular bland sad Cheerios. I can eat that stuff out of hand as a snack food.
Oh yeah,
because it's so tasty, and it's good for you because it's full of whole grains. And like you said, as far as the inert material, it is, you're not eating 5 gross boxes at one time.
Well, the thing is when you're eating the Cheerios, the shit that could do bad things to you is not 60% of the mixture.
Right. It's just,
and it is in these
almost infinitesimal. Yeah. I mean, with texturized vegetable protein, I'll go ahead and say it. Harry's not going to get that upset. Is made of Satan's hemorrhoids.
No, I'm not going to be upset by that.
That stuff is horrible.
Not just hemorrhoids.
It's disgusting.
There's one use case for TVP.
That I
will admit to having done in the past. If you're going camping or hiking or something, you can carry TVP and a packet of Lowry's taco seeds and put something together in a place where you normally, don't have refrigeration. It's actually not the worst thing in that circumstance. But you understand that the bargain you're making to not have to buy dehydrated meat kernels and dehydrate them.
Those are exigent.
You can use TVP, but normally you don't feed that stuff to children.
No,
they weren't born to eat that much.
It's like people that went low salt and low sugar with their kids, and they then started seeing horrible developmental problems in children. And it's like, stop. Number one, children and pets, do not treat them like adult vegans. They're not. You'll kill a dog on a vegan diet.
Oh God, yes, you will.
And it won't take that long.
They'll get sick. They won't develop antibodies.
Yeah.
Well, given how tired people are right now, we have 5 minutes left on the show. I'm going to go ahead and skip to the last article, which by tradition is penis news. And try to get everybody out at the 2-hour mark.
Hopefully this isn't also related to food still, because that's a bad mix of topics if it is.
Tiger walks record 800 miles in search of sex. Now, this is the New York Post, so this is 100% accurate and in no way distorted.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So look at this tiger. This is obviously a stock.
He's winning.
Yeah. He's winning.
Bigly.
This wild cat will do anything for love. A heartsick tiger traveled a whopping 800 miles in search of a soulmate and food. A 5-month-long procreation pilgrimage that marks the longest walk ever recorded by a tiger in India, according to researchers. The horny 3-year-old, dubbed C1 by scientists, embarked on his record-breaking journey at Tipeshwar Wildlife Sanctuary in Maharashtra in June, reports The Independent. From there, he traveled non-linearly through 7 districts, over farms and highways, and even into a neighboring state before arriving in the western, not even going to pronounce it, sanctuary. By the end of C1's epic love odyssey 5 months later, he had wandered an arduous 808 miles, researchers were able to track his trek with GPS satellite information and a radio collar that had detailed his movements since February. Recording him at more than 5 3,000 locations. No, if he had like Google Assistant turned on or something, couldn't he just ask where hot singles near him were located and just no? But I guess since he's a male tiger, he won't ask for directions.
They don't have Tiger Grinder in India.
They don't have tiger grinder.
At
It's a
least
different
not that
type
sort
of
of
time.
grinder.
Yeah, it's a different kind.
Well, yeah, no, yeah, they might have a meat grinder for tigers, but not. Usually the
Yeah.
tiger is the meat grinder.
Now, as far as I can tell in this article, it doesn't say anything about him actually hooking up at the end.
Oh God,
Well,
the poor guy
scroll
got there
back-
and it was just a ginger tabby lying in the garden.
Oh,
Scroll back up to the picture of the tiger, because this is the first time that I've seen a picture of a tiger that I would describe as, man, that tiger looks strung out.
That's a good way.
That tiger
of
looks like he has not gotten any for a while, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Tony the incel.
Some tigers have
Tony
horns.
the incel tiger.
Somehow I don't think it's great.
Ah. Poor
Oh,
tiger.
So, you said that this was the last article, and there is something that I've done every other year when it comes to the Christmas show.
well,
which
you can go
is-
first then. Do it.
Prospero is normally the one who runs this, so she'll know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Yay.
Yay!
You always need a little bit of caroling on Christmas, right?
I
Absolutely.
I
agree.
I did not have time to put together a musical number. I was actually working on.
You should have used the one I sent you to, which is "Try Not to Be a Cunt for Christmas."
Am I gonna get? Copy struck if we play that?
Probably. I don't know. It was not on a. It wasn't on a record label channel, but it was just charming as all get up because it would be very good advice for people to take going forward.
Well, I'll tell you
Mhm.
what. Why don't we let that play us out? Let's see.
Make it nice and easy to trim out in case it does.
Yes.
All right. Well. Oops. Oh,
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yes. Ho ho ho.
yes.
Happy
Yeah, don't
Boxing
be-
Day.
And don't be such a cunt next year, everybody.
God
All
bless
right.
us, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Have a good night, all, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas comes but once a year, and though it's too much to expect you to be nice, you'll find that life is easier with this advice. Try not to be a cunt, it's Christmas. Take a tip from Santa's elf. The rest of us are doing our best to be jolly, so don't go looking like we swallowed a bunch of holly. Don't shout at carol singers and tell them to stop. Don't buy your presents from the off-spam shop. For fuck's sake, be merry, have another sherry, and try not to be a cunt, 'cause Santa's coming. country, country, country.